Michael Bisping believes Aljamain Sterling looked nervous prior to the fight against Sean O'Malley. On the Believe You Me podcast, Bisping says that Aljo reminded him of Derek Lewis when Derek was walking out in his hometown.
I thought Aljamain Sterling was going to go out there. I thought he was going to ragdoll him. I thought he was going to use the wrestling like he did against Henry Cejudo. Because he was so successful against Cejudo, I really didn't see Sean O'Malley being able to stop the fight from being taken down to the ground, right? Aljamain only tried twice in the first round, stuffed them both. It was really good. I thought Aljamain Sterling looked a little nervous in there because, well, he just wasn't himself. He was throwing like wild, erratic attacks from way out of range. He was throwing some funky kicks from the Funk Master, throwing kicks and then throwing side kicks and things like that. But, I mean, I'm sure a lot of that was all down to the footwork, the presence of Sean O'Malley, and he was absolutely on fire. He was phenomenal. I thought when he walked out again, he looked very nervous. I thought, man, it's not looking good. It reminded me of Derek Lewis when he walked out in Houston against Cyril Gane. But then as soon as he stepped onto the octagon apron, there was a change in his energy and he embraced the crowd, and I thought, oh, here we go. He's back. He's just taking it all in. He's in the moment, whatever it is that he's done. I mean, what a guy. What a performance. I mean, that shot that he landed. I mean, just talk about picture perfect. Any boxer would be happy with that shot. It's getting compared to the Conor McGregor-Jose Aldo one. Aljamain Sterling rushed in from kind of out of range. What made it more impressive is that O'Malley was going backwards. Okay, so he didn't step back and then throw the right. He was going backwards. Aljo just came short and then woof, threw the shot as he was going backwards. The reason that was so impressive is because if you're going backwards, then obviously the momentum's going the opposite direction, but it still had tremendous power. Sits him down, follows it up with about 15 ground strikes. I know he wants to fight him again. I know he wants to get back in there. I know he said that they've got unfinished business or something like that.
Henry Cejudo shows off DMs between him and Aljamain Sterling prior to UFC 292. Aljo asked Henry for advice.
So let me let you in on a little secret, everybody. You see, I was helping out Aljo with the game plan, but he absolutely followed none of it. So what are you expecting him to do tomorrow night? Might as well ask your opinion. And I said this. You guys listen to me. He's going to counter you or move like crazy. He doesn't have the ability to stick in the center. Stick to your game plan, push him against the cage, and easy money. I think the strength won't be there, but he'll be wiry and his height and his length. Just gotta be smart, closing the distance and cut his off. Listen to what I'm telling him, because everything that happened in the fight just happened. Watch. Defense is number one. Hands up and close the distance right away. Doesn't matter how you close. It'll be dangerous at the beginning of round 1 and the beginning of round 2, but don't give him that. So this is Saturday now. I'm just like, hey. One more thing, don't react to his fakes. He starts his game like that. If you go away, he starts to figure out his distance. Good luck breaking now with the little kissy. Did Aljamain do any of that? No. What did I say in that message? He's gonna counter you and he's going to move. And what did I say? Keep those hands up. Again, this is Aljamain Sterling, the champ. Right now, the current champ asking me my advice. Did he do any of it? No, he didn't.
Michael Venom Page is looking for a top 10 opponent in his potential UFC debut. MVP did an interview on Israel Adesanya's YouTube channel. He said, "Can I see myself there 100%? I want top 5, top 10 max. I don't feel like I need to prove myself all over again. I just want to go in there, and we've seen it with Michael Chandler. He went in there, fought a top 10 Dan Hooker. Great first win for him that just sprung him into title contention. That is the route I see myself in. I don't see it in any other way. I don't need a warm-up fight. It's not like I've been out of the game for ages. I'm ready to go now." Shavkat Rakhmonov offered to welcome MVP to the UFC. Shavkat tweeted, "How about number 6? At Michael Page." Sean O'Malley reveals he was injured going into the fight with Aljo.
Dude, I haven't grappled in 6 weeks. I had a muscle strain, and I literally couldn't grapple in 6 weeks. Couldn't MMA spar. I was the main event in Boston. There was no shot I was pulling out, but we haven't grappled in 6 weeks. 6 weeks from today, I hurt I had a muscle strain right under my rib, and I couldn't grapple. And so coming into this fight, fighting Aljo, every time I did interviews and I was saying it's life or death, I cannot get taken down. It was because I didn't know if this would hold up, and it's sore right now, and I don't know if it was from a kick or just from the little bit of scramble or the little bit of grappling we did, but it's definitely like it's not super painful, but I definitely feel it. So dealing with those mental demons coming into this fight, knowing I was injured-ish, like I literally, we didn't grapple one day in the last 6 weeks. Didn't grapple at all fight week, and I kept saying in every interview, it's life or death if he takes me down. And I was kind of referring to that, but I wasn't going to come out and say I'm injured.
Dana White gives his take on Dillon Danis boxing Logan Paul. Dana also pleads with Chris Weidman to retire.
What do you think Chris Weidman should do after
retire?
Retire.
Yeah, I love Chris Weidman. I love him. I love his family, and I think he should retire. We talked to Doc D. Doc D thinks he blew his MCL, ACL. He blew one of the CLs, and guy's just coming back from a gruesome injury, and listen, man, father time is not our friend at all, but definitely if you're a professional athlete, it's.
So if he comes up to you and says, I want one more fight, is that something you say, like, hey, maybe let's talk about this?
First of all, depending on the damage to the knee, you're talking another year. So I would say, Chris, I love you, please retire. Weidman reached the pinnacle of the sport and did it in spectacular fashion, knocking out one of the greatest of all time, right? And what's now? Why? You know what I mean? To come back and feel it one more time. He felt it tonight, and he blew his knee out, and he's going to have to go through crazy surgery again and recover from it. It's just like, wow, you've already done it all. You've accomplished everything that you could hope to acclimish in the UFC.
KSI and Logan Paul.
Oh, they're fighting again?
They're back, like they're fighting on the same card.
Oh yeah, okay. Listen, I like Logan. I like Logan a lot. Great kid. Who in this room thinks that's a great fight?
He's fighting Dillon.
Raise your hands, please, if him and Dillon Danis is a great fight. I know he's fighting. Nobody? Not one guy?
Mike Perry is now the backup fighter for Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis. Perry and Darren Till agreed to fight on Twitter. Perry quote tweeted this. He wrote, "What do you say, old buddy, old pal?" At Darren Till. Darren replied, "I say yes, let's go." Perry says, "Finally, Abraham Kawa, make this happen. Blow this shit up. I'm gonna punch this Scouser in the nose." Then Michael Bisping tweeted this. He wrote, "Mike Perry will smoke all these f***ing wannabes. Hashtag clown show." Perry responded, "Thanks, Bisping. The fact that you've had one eye such a long time now and have still been a threat. You've said you'd have a go at bare knuckle. I don't know, mate. Maybe you and I throw down. All love." Darren replied saying, "You either want to fight me, Logan, or Mike. Make your f***ing mind up." And Perry says, "I want to fight you, Darren. Haven't heard a response from you in a while, so I wasn't sure. Figured you'd sign up with gloves involved, though." Mike Perry was also FaceTiming with Israel Adesanya recently. Perry posted this to his Instagram. He wrote, "The champ sharing wisdom with me, at Stylebender." And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Zexter33. It says, "I can't wait for Ian Gary to get humbled. Guy's a world-class fighter, don't get me wrong, but maybe he'll be less annoying if he tried being himself." The second one's from Mocha. It says, "Ian Gary is so delusional." And the final one says, "Ian Gary definitely comes across as childish. He's going to get humbled eventually." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.